Welcome back to Frozen Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about NOVN. This is based on the poll results from Twitter, so I'm just going to be going on through first the technical analysis from 1 month, 1 day. Then I'm going to go through a 1 hour perspective, and then I'm going to be going on diving into the company's profile. And there's just recent news that just came in like in 10 minutes ago. So first things first, we're going to look into here the MACD, and we get to see that our reversal looks like it actually might be confirmed with it going in from a negative trend in MACD to finally a positive one. For the first time today, MACD is above the signal line, and that's a healthy sign. Now, when coming into the momentum, you get to see the stock is at one of its highest momentum points for at least for the last month or so. We can increase this here a little just to compare. It's for at least a month, but not as high as it was before, and the massive jump. The Williams percent R looks for the stock to be at an overbought situation, so we need to look into the 1 hour perspective, but this might be a little bit dangerous. The average directional index is sitting at 43.36, still under the 45 mark, so it's still safe to play. The stock price is still above the 50 SMA. Although it's getting really close to the 200 SMA, as well, the 200 SMA is the one getting closer down. And then we get to see that the stock, the 10 SMA is above the 30 MA, but it has been for quite a little. In terms of volume, we get to see the stock has almost doubled in volume today from the day before, and there's a bit of interest coming into the stock. Moving into 5 days, 1 hour perspective, you get to see that the stock here is seeing a little bit of an interesting trend in the last 2 days. And so what we're seeing here, that the MACD has increased significantly to the positive, seen a little bit of pullback, and then increased back again. So that could be a little bit of a sign of growth, and investors looking to keep getting on into this one here. The stock is above the VWAP, so that's still a bullish sign. 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA, and the stock price is above both the 200 SMA and the 50 SMA. So that's all bullish signs. Here, average directional index is at a 50. 50 is usually an indication where it's considered that the current trend is a little bit unstable and it might actually result in a reversal. So that could be a little bit of a warning sign amid all the positive signs you're seeing. The MACD here seems to be a little bit unstable and getting a little bit of a hiccup where it's kind of almost decreasing. That could be a little bit another dangerous one. So you need to look that into the pre-market. In terms of momentum, it's fine. In terms of Williams percent R here, it's sitting a little bit of neutral. Let's try to take a quick look into perhaps the moving averages. You get to see the stock is above the moving average, another warning sign that we have here today. And then we're looking at here in terms of perhaps Fibonacci retracements. So what I can do here, I will do two things quickly. I'll do Fibonacci retracements. I'm going to do trend lines, and I'm going to do Fibonacci retracements from a bigger perspective. So you get to see that the stock tried to break the 0.63. It broke it for a little and then went down to 0.64. The current support for Fibonacci retracement is sitting at 0.58. In terms of kind of traditional, it is as well 0.58, and it's happening somewhere around here. And then the next one is happening around 0.57, happen here and here, and 0.56 seems to be the next one. And then 0.55. So it's almost at every down cent there's a little bit of room to grow up there around 0.61, 0.60, and 0.63 seems to be the current resistance. Now what I want to do quickly is I'm going to go 3 months here. I'm going to draw the Fibonacci retracements from the highest point to the lowest point, and then compare it to what we're seeing in the last month. And you get to see that it is sitting at 0.64. Current support is 0.58, so it's kind of matching this a little bit nicely, and then the one after is 0.51. Right, so we identify this. Now let's go quickly towards the trend lines and try to identify any trend that might actually show. Nothing significant here. Let's try to see if there's any channels that we can draw. Happening here. I mean, this could be somewhat of an uptrend that we're seeing in the last few days. Well, almost since July, at the beginning of July. Although here looks like it might have had a big news or a pump and dump. Not sure exactly what happened here, but it seems to have had a hiccup. Now, what happens here is that you get a lot of bag holders at almost every cent going up, and that's why the supports and resistances were that way. So you might actually need to consider watching this closely, especially with every cent almost being in resistance. Going in towards news here, first I'm going to go through the pipelines and research. So they have 25 issued US patents and 35 non-US issued patents in Japan, EU5, China, South Korea, and a bit more. And they have over 60 pending applications worldwide. Each one of this, it's going to be a good PR for this stock. In terms of pipelines, this stock has a good amount of different ones sitting here. For instance, SB206 sitting at phase 3, SB204 sitting at phase 3, and they have a bunch of them currently open right now that any of them might actually, if they progress, that's a positive PR. Well, of course, the drawback is if they fail, that's a negative PR. Going in towards the presentation quickly here, 70% of their patents are below 10, typically present within 10 to 30 licenses, up to 100% in severe cases, average to resolution 13 months. That's one of their basically pipelines that is currently opening in a phase 3, so it seems that they're actually putting in a little bit of attention to it. Some of them are on hold, so this one here is still going, high risk HPV, and the coronavirus is as well on preclinical. Now, I did mention before on this one here with the nitric oxide based, and you would have to watch my other DD in the description below. I attached it as well. I do cover basically almost exact same things I did today, but nitric oxide is one of the coronavirus potential treatments, and there was a bit of research on it that I mentioned in my previous DD, so could be still considered a COVID play in that sense. Not a lot to look at here, but a little bit alarming on why a bunch of them are on hold, and could be as well explained by COVID-19. Going in towards here, you get to see a bit of positive views. Not a lot to look at afterwards here. Although, one thing is that they have $21.8 million in terms of cash as of March 31st. What else is here? 20 million secured through capital fund. And as of June 25th, it anticipates current cash runway provides sufficient capital to provide additional basically funding into phase 3 pivotal trials and top line efficacy targeted for second quarter 2021. What does that mean? Offering not likely. That's what I'm hearing. Now, going in towards institutional owners, you get to see that on the 9th, there seems to be around 1,000 shares bought. Not a big transaction here, so not very interesting for me. In terms of the insider trading, well, here let's quickly see. Yeah, their portfolio is around $1 billion, so not a lot of interesting things going on with this one here. In terms of insiders, I don't see any recent insider transactions ever since the quite a bit. The last purchase was March 3rd March, so that's quite a bit ago. Now coming into towards the new news. This one here is a termination of lease. That's happened. Yeah, that happened today in after hours. And what this really says to me is that, well, nothing much other than they have leased around 51,350 square feet of the company. And basically they terminated their lease that was going on to 2026. They're paying around 600,000. 539,000 of that, which was paid through the security deposit, and 61,000 in cash. So it's not depleting of cash there. They're gonna still sublease it. So they're gonna still sublease 12,000 square feet to be reduced approximately 10,000 square feet by the end of August. And what it sounds, and the sublease, by the way, expires on March 31st, 2021. And what it sounds like is that they're going to probably move to somewhere new. And expecting that news sometime soon. I mean, company this big, how are they making their operations with 12,000 square feet and going to be reduced 10,000 by end of August? And the original square footage was 51,000. So a little bit of different things there. Now going on to the next thing here is that there's a proxy meeting, and there's going to be a reverse stock split voting happening in with either 1 or 2 not more than 1 to 15, but that's not happening until I believe July 28th into their annual stockholder, and that would, if it's actually approved, it would happen on November 2nd, 2020. Now I'm not able to determine whether it will be approved or not. They still have some time to try to run that stock price up to $1, and if they have done it for 10 days consecutive, then I don't see why the reverse split would happen. Although probably would be somewhere between 1 to 4 or 1 to 3 reverse split. That's really dependent on different things. I'm not going to go into it. Now going on as well to one of these forms that happened on the 9th. Not a lot to look into here. This has already been played through, so I'm not going to go very much into it. But basically, this was just as well the notice from NASDAQ about their compliance. Thank you very much. What do you think about this stock? Make sure you mention it down in the comment below. Share, subscribe, and like, and you have a wonderful day.